for it or against it, but boy, I'd sure be out there saying you got to listen to these people,
Yeah.
especially when it's Bob Kraft. And I'm not kneeling at the altar of Bob Kraft. I've criticized him when I thought he deserved it, and you know, I think that they probably could have handled this whole thing a little bit better and done a little bit better PR. I think they might have misjudged. I don't think they quite understood the local local disturbance that this would cause. But if you're going to have somebody back, behind a project like this, who would you want that's better?
There's nobody better.
Yeah,
There's nobody in that, you know, in this area of the country that's better than him. And he builds a fine product. He puts on a fine product. I mean, you got to look at that too. That's just, again, that's something I said. It could be there's a bunch of casino companies out there that are but regardless, anyone does business with Mr. Kraft is going, you know, it's his way or the highway, and it's all first rate. I mean, anybody who's been to Patriot Place, the stadium, anywhere down there,
beautiful.
It is first class. He's won awards for being green and environmentally friendly, and everything is. And it's all state of the art.
He's done a lot for the town of Foxboro too. I mean, what everybody forgets.
That goes without saying. He has done a lot, and Foxboro.
I mean, I understand he has to, in a sense, if he wants to be in their good graces. But
he doesn't have to open the stadium up to the MIAA, which is not specifically for Foxboro. But I mean, he does a lot of things, and you know, he's a good neighbor as far, you know, from what I see. I mean, you know, he's a neighbor of ours.
Yeah.
I live, you know, very close to Foxboro line, and you know, for the few days a year that the game or traffic or something like that really affects me, I mean, you deal with it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I've been a Patriot season ticket holder for years. I mean, a lot of years since my kids were really small, and I know that franchise wouldn't be in Foxboro today if Bob Kraft hadn't, you know, come in, bought it, spent his own money, committed his own money, and followed through on promises. Now, I'm not saying he did everything he would have liked to do, you know, the whole time, but I don't remember a major promise that Bob Kraft broke to the town of Foxboro. I think everything he's done has worked out so far, you know, pretty well. That doesn't mean Foxboro has to just fall down and say, whatever you want, Mr. Kraft,
by no
you know,
means.
please go ahead and do it.
Of course not, but
you know, but I mean, even like I said, even if he gets it through, even if he makes a proposal, and even if Foxboro decides to listen, it's far from a sure bet.
Oh, yeah.
That they're going to, you know, that they're even going to be approved. They've got a big battle with Suffolk Downs.
Right.
Just trying to go up there because that's about as politically connected a group there that you're going to find.
And it takes a 2/3 majority at a town meeting in order to get the zoning changed. So
Yes.
you know, there are a lot of hurdles facing this. It's just, and it's sad that it's being cut off where it is now. And I don't think, in the end, I think at least that it'll change enough where they listen to proposals. But as Bill stated, you know, you got some serious political issues. You got 2 different sites in the district of the House Speaker right now, with Wonderland and Suffolk Downs, and you know, I mean, either one of those tracks.
Plain Ridge.
Well, that's not in that area. That's not in that district.
That's not going to be a casino. That would be, if they get a license, that'd be what they call a racino.
Yeah,
it's
slot parlor.
Slot machine parlor, basically.
But that's actually not a bad place for that. It's right on all main roads.
Yeah,
It's really not. You're not really affecting anybody coming in, you know, to go there from the highway.
Yeah.
And yet, you know, Bob Rose, who's a selectman in Plainville, he made a statement, which I thought was actually a good statement. He said, you know, if you're going to put something there, that's almost a perfect spot because it's right on the edge of Plainville. It's right at the town line. It's not in the center.
Right.
But then he said something, and he didn't mean it the way it maybe sounded. He said, it's so close to the edge, it's almost like it's not in Plainville.
Right.
Well, of course, that irritated a lot of people who live in that general area, and now they're getting all over him, and which is just another thing to show you that all of a sudden you've got billion-dollar issues that the selectmen are trying to deal with, and it's got to be so overwhelming to be facing all this, and to have these angry people and these people you've known all your life suddenly calling you up and say, "What are you doing? You're selling out your community. You don't love your town. You blah blah blah."
No.
It's really awful.
It's funny you mentioned Rob Rose, and I just, you know, a lot of people don't know who he is, but I'll tell you, he is one of the finest selectmen in this area that you'd ever meet. I've had the pleasure of meeting him, and he is a great selectman. He's very nice. He's very firm, nice man, but he keeps under the radar. He's not
Good runner too.
He's he does a lot of running. He goes all over the place. He does a lot of racing and road racing and things like that. But he's just a very good selectman. He's a good person for Plainville, and if you ever bump into him somewhere, I know he takes the Mansfield train to Boston, so for his day job. Yeah. See him run for the train. But again, there are issues. There are issues bigger than Foxboro. Again, we got the Plain Ridge Race Course down there, and they're looking at that. And I thought before the Kraft Win, casino plan come up, I myself thought, wow, slot parlor, that would be a good place for that. It's like going to Twin River. Twin River isn't anything horrible. It's not like the old Lincoln Park. It's a whole different world down there, and even they're having trouble. In general, a lot of these casinos aren't doing well because the economy's not doing well.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at a first-rate product by people that have a good history of running things, hosted by a person that has a good history running things, I think it's worth the hour to listen to them and make the proposal. Let them do their research. And obviously they've done some scouting or whatever, but I don't know that anybody's ready to put forth a proposal yet either, because there's too many variables.
Yeah, it's like what just amazes me is I could understand if a proposal was made and the Board of Selectmen in Foxborough said, you know what, we looked at this, we don't want to be a host community given this proposal, given all these things that are going to be done. It's going to change the character of our town. We've talked to our townspeople. This is what we feel. Thank you, but no thank you, and respectfully say no. Then, I might think they're wrong, but that's their decision. What bothers me is they're saying, we really have no idea what you have planned, but we don't want it. Thank you very much. Yeah. And I think in large part, they initially took a 3-2 vote the other way.
Yeah.
Initially they took a 5-0 vote against all gambling. Then they took a 3-2 vote to listen to basically the proposal. And then they took a 3-2 vote not to listen. That was one selectman who was very torn.
Swung, yeah.
And it's until you've sat on stage and had maybe 100, 200, 300 people who are very angry with you, staring up and accusing you and calling you names
Welcome
and doing
to my
this.
life.
Yeah, some of us can appreciate that more than others, but it's a tough thing to go through. So I have great sympathy for them.
Yeah, no, it's a tough thing, and we wish them all well. And again, if you think you may want to, further this discussion, we'd love to have you come on here and talk with us. We keep all takers, and at least you'll have your chance. I guarantee you this, okay, and these gentlemen will back me up, that you know what, you will be afforded your say here.
I think we should take a 3-2 vote not to listen to anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe between the three of us, or we'll take a 2-1 vote.
I was going to say, how are we going to do a 3-2 vote?
Well,
Eddie votes twice?
This is the Chicago method of counting the votes,
okay,
so
yeah,
we're going to do that. But
yes. Uncle Stephen, who passed away several years ago, is going to vote.
Yeah, vote early, vote often.
So, anyways, folks in Foxborough, you got a lot on your plate. I mean, it's your like Bill said, it's your town, it's your decision, it's squarely on you. I am of the opinion is that you should at least hear the facts, stay away from the opinions, stick with the facts, look what the proposal is, and then make an informed decision. That's all I can say about that. You? How about you?
I'd pretty much say the same thing, just listen to them.
Bill?
Yeah, I'm with good old Stephen Hawkins. I don't think there's still been an idea that's so dangerous it can't be talked about. So I think, and not only that, Foxborough should just consider what's good for Foxborough. They don't have a responsibility to consider what's good for the area. They have a responsibility to listen when people talk to them, but they're the ones that are going to have to live with it. They're the ones that are going to have to make the decision. So yeah, talk to other towns, be polite, get opinions, but in the end, this is a decision by Foxborough, for Foxborough, and they should do it. All I care about is that the system of people allowed to be heard and making up your mind based on facts would be followed through, because I don't want to see the overwhelming majority of Foxborough citizens denied the right, just because, 10,000 of them didn't go to a meeting. In the end, the way to decide that is let the people of Foxborough vote, and that's what should happen.
Now, and I will say one thing, and this is very important, okay? Now, this is a lesson for you people in Foxborough. This comes from the heart. It's very serious. You have 3 people here that have, cut their teeth arguing, okay? And we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
this is, again, you got to do the right thing, and ultimately you will. But at least I think you got to at least hear the chant. You got to hear them out, and then make an informed decision. If you want to come here and argue that with us, or you want to agree with us, or you want to be somewhere in between us, yeah. I think what you should do is you should get a hold of us, and you can get a hold of me anytime, and that's through our email address at mansfieldkitchensink@gmail.com. I'm going to do it, okay, ready? Right there in front of your screen.
How do you get that to float there? That's amazing.
That's Jack. That's Jack O'Neill. He's our
O'Neill
director.
right
He
there.
does some cool things, card tricks, weather reports, you name it. He's got
He makes us look good.
ponies
all
out
the time.
back.
That's
That may
a
be the
hard
hardest.
task. We are on Facebook, Mansfield Kitchen Sink.
At
No,
Facebook.com/Mansfield
Facebook.com/Mansfield
Kitchen
Kitchen Sink. And we
Wow.
are on talkmansfield.org. And we are looking at you, Foxborough. We see you on the pages. We see you on the blogs. And we are listening to you. So if you want to come on, be part of this, be part of the discussion. But the 3 of us are urging you to at least listen. Listen to what's going on. Make an informed decision. It's your decision. No one's trying to take that away from you. Yeah. And that's the but you gotta, at least you gotta do what's best for you. You get an opportunity here to, it's gonna reshape your town one way or the other. And again, it's what you make of it and how you handle it. So you got to decide. But we're trying to help you here. We're not trying to. Nobody's here to rank on anybody, and no one's here throwing stones.
No.
I think it's very important that you understand that we're here just trying to help you guys open up a little dialogue, because I hate to see the infighting, and it's. And if you look at the blogs and you look at the back and forth and the postings and everything, I mean, it's very bitter over there.
Oh, no question. And one of the other things that cracks me up is I remember, because my grandfather spent a good part of his adult life there, was people say, oh, you're going to bring gambling to Foxborough? Folks, the stadium is built on the site of the former Foxborough racetrack.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
They had gambling in Foxborough.
That racetrack was where I first placed my first bet with my grandfather when I was about, I gave him $1 when I was probably about 12 years old, and went with him to the track.
Yeah, but that's different. And there's already gambling in Foxborough. Go to any store and buy a lottery ticket.
Go to any store in Massachusetts and buy a lottery ticket.
But we're talking about Foxborough. And,
Well, I know, but
and there was a racetrack there. It wasn't that long ago.
No?
It was not that long ago when that track was there. You go there and bet.
right behind the old Foxborough Stadium.
Yep, you could bet away. You pick a winner.
But in the meantime, Dan, if I could say one last thing, just if anybody from Foxborough is watching, don't let this issue be an excuse for bad behavior on anyone's part. Don't allow it to be.
Yep.
You have a responsibility, regardless of the issue, to handle things in a fair, objective, and responsible manner. And that goes whether you're a town official, whether you're a citizen, whether you're the town manager, whatever it is, it's your job to make sure that you respect the rights of everybody else. And whether you get a casino or you don't get a casino, you have to live with the aftermath. And the aftermath should be that you respect each other and that you don't denigrate your neighbor.
There you go. I can't add to that. That's perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get out of your hair for now. And again, if you want to, would like to rebut or agree with us or whatever, please get a hold of us again. One more time, MansfieldKitchenSink@gmail.com. We'll let it go from there. Thank you. It's very thoughtful of you.
You have a third arm.
Okay. We'll catch you next week. We're gonna back it on out of here and go gambling somewhere. No.
Let's drive to Connecticut.
Yeah, we'll drive to Connecticut. No, really, take care, Foxborough, and hopefully we, help you in some way, showing you how that, like I say, the 3 people that tend to be on different sides of everything can all come together. If we can do it, you can do it. So I'm Dan Pascucci. I want to thank you for having my kitchen in your living room, and we'll see you next time on Everything But the Kitchen Sink. Good night.
of love are hanging on with push and shove. Possession is the motivation that is hanging up the goddamn nation. Looks like they always end up in a